Hello, my name is John Brubaker. This is my wife, Roseanne. And prior to coming to Door of Hope, our marriage was fairly rocky.
Lots of ups and downs. I feel like our marriage, some of the time I thought it was good. The next day I'd think I was scared to have him walk in the door after work because I never knew how he would come home. We worked on our marriage, but whenever I'd want to talk to him about the emotional hard in our lives, it was too much for him. He didn't want to talk about it, and which was very painful for me because I knew that marriage could be better than what it was.
Through some of the past hurts in my life, I turned to pornography. I had an anger problem as well, and they kept boiling up. And we heard a testimony of another couple that came through Door of Hope, give their story. And as we were listening to their story, it started in the back of my mind, I'm like, well, maybe we should look for help. And then by the time they finished their story, it's like, I do want help. I looked at her and I said, let's go for help. Let's go to Door of Hope, because if seeing their vibrant faces from their situation, what they were free from, I wanted that. It's like, I want to live like that. I can't go on living like this. So that's what brought us to Door of Hope.
The weekend we heard our friend's testimony, I was really struggling. I was at the end of myself, and I was very thankful when he committed to being willing to go and receive some counseling and find a better way to life. I remember John gave the okay to come in here, and so I was not going to lose any timing. I called, I think, Monday morning after we discussed it Sunday evening. Yeah, Monday I called in to make the appointment. Ray had it scheduled in a short amount of time.
I personally didn't know exactly what to expect. It was intense, but it was good. It was intense. It was digging in and going to places in my heart that I really didn't want to go. And I never did go with other people.
When he confessed the porn and some of his journey of sin is when I felt like he really changed, when he had a heart that he was ready to serve the Lord fully and to work on our marriage and to love me as his wife. I definitely felt that was a huge turning point. Before that, he was talking about things from his past that were definitely part of the pain, but I didn't feel like it was a huge life-changing event until that night when he confessed. And the next morning as we worked through it here in the office is when I really felt a huge shift in our marriage.
So I had confessed it at one point, way early on in our marriage. But then, I just sort of fell back in, but I didn't tell her. Didn't say anything, just kept it hidden. Didn't bother saying anything, figuring I can kick this.
Some of the most significant differences for myself is that he is willing to talk about emotional struggles in our lives between the two of us, and how to make life much better for each other. He cares about my heart. He cares about our children and what they're struggling with. Yeah, he just has a much deeper connection with our family than what he would have before. I was feeling not good enough, not beautiful enough. It really hit me hard for the next maybe year or so. I struggled with it for a long time, reached out for some help, and it was hard, and I needed to learn to trust my husband again. It was definitely a hard time for me, but he was very gracious and kind through it all. And I went to a retreat for women, and that really helped me see who I was in Christ. I was not the lies I was believing. I was loved by God for who I was and not by what my life was prior.
For me, I felt light. I felt freedom. I felt, raring to go, like life, take the bull by the horn, so to speak. And I couldn't figure out what's wrong with her now. I thought we went through all this. I thought this was, we're good to go now, so to speak. But not realizing some of this was grief in her life, and I had to care for that. What I learned through all this was is to care for her heart. You know, sometimes there's talks that maybe I didn't really want to, but she needed. Some other discussions of what was bothering her and be interested in that. Whereas before, you know, I didn't really care, you know, just get your act together.
So when he changed, and it took a while to trust, but it was really good to just leave him be the head of the home like God has designed it. It made my life so much easier when I could just let him be in control, take leadership, and I trusted him. And that's when life became beautiful.
As we were going through counseling, the counselor always brought up a verse, Philippians 1:6, being confident of this very thing, that he which hath begun a good work in you will perform it unto the day of Jesus Christ. And that became my verse. I stuck to that because God did start a work in me, and he's still working in me.
My encouragement to anyone who is really struggling in their marriage, in their lives, if it's from past pain from growing up, or if it's just anything in their marriage where you're not connected and you're really struggling, find help. Door of Hope is a great place to find some encouragement, some help for your life's journey. Life is hard and there is hope. And my encouragement is to not just wallow in pain, but find healing for what you're going through.
I know there's oftentimes there's that stigma behind going for counseling and things like that, but I would definitely encourage people to go through with it.
We would recommend it very much. It was definitely a very big stepping stone in our journey of life.